German? You've been working on Squadron 42 for quite a long time, and you just finished Mission 6. That's what I heard.
So we are, right at the moment, we've got, so Squadron 42 is going to be released in 5 episodes or chapters, and each one will be 10 missions, based on the plan. And each, at the moment, we think it's going to be about 10 to 20 hours of gameplay per chapter. So the whole thing's done as a lot of gameplay there and so forth. So right now we have what we call white boxed, all the first levels and so forth and things. Sorry, just 1 second.
No problem, no problem.
At the moment we've white boxed the all the first 10 missions and stuff like that. So we have all that. We have all the so we know exactly what to do, which means we can do a dry run through. So we can run through. We can basically look at what's needed and so forth. The next stage is we take some of them to a grey box, which is basically where we fill it out. And so we get combat in there and so forth. Because obviously Squadron 42 is not just about space combat, but actually you have a lot of like landing and going places. So we try and do a lot of mixing and things. So not just about flying, but you can basically do a lot of different stuff as well like that as well. And so you want to run around, get combat on the ground. So we fleshed it out. We're taking one mission, which I believe it's mission 4, and we're taking that to a vertical slice, which is basically we're going to get it completely working the way we feel it should look like, and then we use that then as the quality standard for the rest of the missions. So that's kind of where we're at the moment, and we're working on. We're trying to get the mission 4 to vertical slice sometime next month.
And you are, by the way, that sounds great. But you are at the moment also involved with Arena Commander and all the modules being released, of course, because what I heard, you around the globe you're working 24/7.
Yeah, we basically the way we work is in the UK we'll start and then when we finish our stuff we have like a conference call, video conference on Skype with the other officers, and we sit down and we go through and say, right, this is what we've finished today, and then we have kind of like a sort of a handoff. It's like a handoff email, a handoff sort of message. You go back and say, right, we've done all this, and so we say, this is the list of stuff we need you guys to look at for us, and then basically and then we tell them what we've done, and they'll go away and they'll look at on the US and so forth. And then when they finish with in the US, then they'll come back to us and say, right, we've done this, can you look at this, or we need this and so forth, things like that. So when that's working well, it's great for communication, because basically you're always on stuff all the time. Obviously, if it falls down and you don't pass the message off correctly, then you have to wait a day, and that's where it's not so good. But we're getting very good at making sure that we pass off all the issues and people are in contact, so we can just keep on working all the way through that way.
So, sounds like a big clan in the EVE universe, for example, who are fighting 24/7 for achieving one goal.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's a big old goal, so we have to basically...
For all the members who are flying EVE, that's how you should work. Okay, and so there's a whole bunch of stuff that you will have to get out. Does double precision in a way influence the time schedule, or is it just along the way?
I mean, it's definitely something we're getting in now because we need to, because basically without it, then you can only go so large and so forth. And obviously, with at the moment, so the Arena Commander, the levels are a certain size. We actually can make them a bit bigger, but if you make them too large, or you have really large objects, then obviously your precision goes. So we need to do that kind of stuff to get that fixed. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is, let me just...
We'll be back after a short break. So double precision issue, time schedule. Is there any letdowns about double precision that influence your timetable, or is it really working?
At the moment, there's lots we can get on with it, but at some point, yes, it will affect this, and it's a big change to the code base. Fortunately, we have some coders who are very familiar with the core engine, so they'll be working on that stuff. And so, and then once we have that, then will allow us to properly get the larger submissions. And also, of course, the Peterson universe working in a way that can basically travel between different areas without basically being small sort of action areas and stuff. Kind of what we're making it for the community, We're making the games that we want to play, but also we hope everybody else wants to play as well, and do things like that. So,
well, thank you very much.
Oh, no problem.
Erin. thanks for your time.
Thank you very much
I hope
for supporting us.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody. So.
You might go on with your work now.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go see if.
Don't forget this.
I won't. No.
That's for afterwards.
I'm gonna go find the fridge.
We'll be back after a short break. Now we are here with Eric Peterson. I'm in the good position to have had an interview with him last year, and he declared himself ready to have another interview with me. And so I'm
chained to the desk. I'm not really here on my own accord.
So it's Wingman's Hangar again.
Yeah, episode 73.
Well, first of all, some general questions. For you as a developer of crowdfunding game, what does this event mean to you?
Well, these are important for us because we don't do like traditional, television shows or things that get out so this is for us. These are the people that are like us, that believe in what we're doing. They believe in games like this, and this is essentially all the people that get out and tell other people about it, which drive more citizens to Star Citizen. And the more people that we get to the game, the more people there are to shoot. So it's very important. This is probably the most important event we do.
Yeah. When compared, like the computer game is an art form. When compared to a movie like Avatar, it cost $500 million.
Right.
Can you compare that to a computer game? Also talking about script. How long is the script for Star Citizen?
Well, okay, there's multiple portions of answer.
Well, Squadron 42.
Well, Squadron 42, you probably ask Erin, but I remember that at one point we were talking 1,200 pages or something like that. So it's really, really large. I'm not sure what the page count is today because I think we started with 1,500, and I believe it's on its way down. We're trying to, you start with let's tell everything, and then you go, okay, let's get more reasonable. So I'm not sure where it is today, but comparing it to movies, it's very much like a movie in the sense that the difference is that, like Avatar, they had to make all the scenery too, right? So all the plants, the animals, all that had to be made, and that's the same thing as making a game, right? Everything, the planets, the stars, the ships, the particle effects, the missiles, the nebulas, the asteroids, they all have to be created. So that takes time, and so it's a little bit like that, and yeah, it's a big enterprise.
And then from a financial point of view, like. Other AAA games, of course, Star Citizen and Squadron 42 is going to be AAA. That's the dream, that's the vision. But you've been working on several AAA games. From a financial point of view, can you compare that to a movie like...
Well, I'm not understanding what you're asking.
For example, now we've got, 49 million?
Something like that, yeah.
Crowdfunded,
almost 50,
or almost 50. Probably today it's going to be 50.
That would be amazing, but yeah, it's.
We made it last year.
We did. I think we hit 16 million at the show last year. That was amazing. But the focus is really not about. I know that a lot of people are interested in the money, right, and how much it is, and all this other stuff, and that's kind of cool. But for us, the focus is the game.
Yeah.
So. Depending on the size of scope we aim for, day 1, day 2, day 50, day 100, you can make a game with 20 million, 50, 100, 150, whatever is there, you can go as big as you want. But right now we're focused on a narrower scope, getting it out to the people first, all the different modules, and then, keeping to go out like that. So 50 million's nice, and it's absolutely incredible, to be honest. And we never thought that. But we're a company too, and we have running costs, and got to make this game.
And the scope is getting bigger.
It is getting bigger. Well, I don't know if the scope is getting bigger. I think the scope is being pulled forward because the scope has always been big, but it's never been to do everything at once or this early, right? And so since the funding went way beyond what we ever thought, now it's like, well, we can pull some of this forward and work on that at the same time as we're doing other stuff. So it's allowed us to, honestly, get more people, more stuff, more content to the people. I think tonight is going to be interesting because we always have a plan, and then we have backup plans in case we don't get to that plan. And that was evident in Boston. I think we didn't quite get there, right? We had I think the plan and the two or three backups, and we hit everything this time. So we have a lot to show tonight, and it's going to be really, really fun.
Now, I'm so excited. I really want to go to pee. But okay.
Okay. Well, go ahead.
Yeah. Just let it roll.
Right. Just like.
So, okay, yeah. Well, the raised money the money that has been raised up to this point. Do you think? Okay, of course, you won't be able to say exact numbers, but do you think if it goes on like this with the funding, so will you be able to do this game without big publisher or without any extra?
Yes, I do think so. Yeah, why not? I mean, that's what we're aiming for. I don't think we've had publishers talk to us and approach us, but Chris has been pretty consistent in his message that we want to go this alone. Now that being said, that's assuming that it keeps working there. Who knows what happens in the future? Maybe Facebook will buy us for $2 billion.
I've been talking to Palmer from Orchid, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, no, that's a good point. Thank you very much. This goes out to all the German backers. Go on and buy Constellations, guys. Okay.
Constellations? Yeah, you might get to see a few new ones tonight.
That's the bomb. Okay, now let's come to the forum questions. Obviously.
Okay, sure. Shoot.
You can answer them.
So this would be forum feedback.
That's good. That's what you get. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're on for some
forum feedback.
Yeah, it's about in-game insurance. First question is about in-game insurance. Is it going to be real-time days, or is it going to be in-game days?
It'll be in-game. The time, and I'm not sure we've made a final decision on how long a day is going to be in the verse, like how many hours essentially, but it'll be a ratio. So it's not going to be one day, it's not 24 hours in our game.
Yeah.
That's not how it's going to be.
It's going to be quicker, and then.
Absolutely.
But it's not the in-game insurance is not going to go away if you don't play. So whenever you play, that's your day playtime, or.
Oh, you're talking about will it expire? Like if you have a year experience, a year insurance, would it expire? No, it would expire a year from the day that whatever the day is in the game itself.
You first log in.
Right.
Okay.
Well, no, from the day of your gameplay time. It's like, because don't forget, everything is fictional. Everything is like immersive, and so it's just like that. Now that doesn't mean that if you have to go on a vacation or you miss some days or it goes a year or whatever, then there'll be a pop up and something will happen. It'll say, hey, you're not going to lose that.
Okay. So it's really when you're in game.
Yeah,
of course, time flows a bit faster. But
it's just like buying insurance in real life.
Yeah.
And if it's a 1 year policy, in 1 year you better renew it.
One in-game year, but it doesn't go away when you are not locked.
Right. Yeah. Well, if you're not playing, there's nothing that happens to your stuff anyway, right? So.
Yeah. Fair enough. The third question. I don't know if you can read.
Is LTI dead?
Yeah.
Well, we did say no more LTI, but that's an interesting thing because people keep asking for it. So currently there are no plans to bring LTI back, but you never say never. If enough people are determined to do it, then it's hard because you don't want to. We said no. We stopped it. We shut it off. And then it's a dangerous slope. If we say okay, we'll bring it back because people want it, then you have the people going, oh, they lied, and we didn't. It's just sometimes we want to support what the community wants.
Probably a way through the middle of the thin red line would be just doing cross upgrades
or do 1 year or 2 year, 3 year, 5 year. Absolutely, there are probably things we could do like that, but I think LTI, based on that, it's probably finished.
By the way, next question I should have asked Erin. When does Squadron 42 come out?
Well, you'd have to ask Erin.
Yeah. Okay.
But here's the thing about Squadron 42. I really don't like talking about it much because I don't want to spoil it.
Okay.
It's a complete single player game.
Right.
I would go visit Manchester if you get a chance because they've got some amazing guys there and they're doing some amazing stuff.
Well, think about visiting Manchester.
Yeah, especially if you want to see some really big ships.
It's close to London.
Yeah, not far away.
Okay. Then next question is about input devices. Are you planning on going ahead with mouse, keyboard, joystick, gamepad, all?
We're going to support as many as we can. Absolutely.
Okay. Do you think there's a balancing issue?
You mean would one become the dominant game type or gameplay controller?
Yeah.
Well, right now there is. I mean, we're not balanced yet. I mean, that's part of pre-alpha or being alpha or whatever you want to call us, right? So yeah, there is, but it'll be a challenge for us. But that's we've always done that. We have mouse, keyboard versus game controller, or we want everybody to have a good experience. So will one be dominant over the other? No, not if we can help it. We'll try to make it. But we also want to support the guys that have the HOTAS set up, or have the attenuating chair. That if they really want to get into it and make it why don't they have a 5 or 10% advantage? They're the ones who've taken it to learn how to play that way. Right, exactly. So that's the way it is. They're probably good pilots in the Navy in real life, and they're probably ones that aren't so good. So
loving that answer, by the way. I mean, it's also if you have Oculus Rift sometime in the future.
Man, that thing makes me sick. I love it, but it's like, oh.
What do you mean? You tried it?
Oh yeah. You should, as I said, you should go to Manchester.
Yeah.
Walking around a really big ship with an Oculus Rift is pretty stinking amazing.
Nice. Okay, then the last 3 questions probably. 50 ships or 64 ships, that's about the instance that you want to...
Oh, you mean in an instance?
In one instance,
right.
That's where you want to go. But is it ships or is it players?
No, it's currently ships right now. So, but that depends, because right now we're just, tonight you'll see we're getting the multi-crew going, and so it's going to depend on the networking traffic. Because what happens when you're like flying like in a Connie, for instance, you got 2 crew members. You've now in that one ship you've got 3 clients and 1 server, so the server has to update 3 places, and so so if you walk in the ship. It also has to update, but it doesn't need to update everybody. Like the people outside don't need to see that. So there's a complicated, tangled web to unweave in there to get to that point. So 50, 60 would be great. Right now we're not there yet. Our instances are fairly small. I think we can get about 12 to 15 in there without it starting to get really laggy. So that's something we're going to have to work on.
Yeah. But definitely you want to go for 50 or 60
That's
ships
what we're aiming for, but
sense.
it's going to depend on the size, how far we can go in the Z, how far we can go, in the segmented worlds or into the larger world space. So,
well, obviously, I think
but think about
50 Idrises in one instance would be
right. Then you have that 2 frame a second Eve kind of thing.
Yeah. the big babbles.
Yeah. We don't want that. We'd like to avoid that. It is a there'll be frame rate limiters, or we'll know. I mean, I don't know if they'll ever. I'm sure people will try to game it and figure out exactly how many they can have, and they'll try to dominate a space because the clans will all get together and go, we're going to own this. We got 49 of the 50 spots. Whoever comes in, jump them. But we'll find a way of making sure that doesn't happen.
Oh, that's good to know. That's good to know. And NPCs included? Like if you say
no, NPCs don't really. NPCs are run by the server, so you only need to update. Yes, they'd probably be included in that space, depending on what they're flying. I mean, if you can interact with them, I guess that's TBD. We'll have to figure that out.
Yeah. You see that in the
but I don't think you won't. I doubt you'll ever see like 1,000 ships or 100.
Well, hopefully not.
Yeah, no, that would be terrible. But I mean, but we could maybe with LODs and how far your vision, how far you can see, because if the double precision, how big is an instance, right?
Yeah.
Because right now we're still figuring out. Right now our instances are really small. They're not even close to how big they're going to be. So with 10, 15 in there now, you can extrapolate out and say that's a tenth of it. Well, now you have 120 people that you can put in an instance because it's there. But then we'll have to slide the instance left and right. It's a challenge we'll have to work out.
Yeah. Well, as you said, TBD.
Yeah, TBD. Well, that's part of the fun, right?
Yeah.
And that's part of the why we're doing this with the fans, because they can get in their play, let us know. Because if the game's not fun, then what's the point, right? So we need to get the feedback from people.
Thank you, Erin. Well, when is the 10 for the chairman new logo coming out?
Well, I don't know that question, honestly.
Next question. I don't like the question anyway. So. And I think the last question is kind of connected because is it possible to fly an Idris alone?
I believe they're supposed to fly an Idris alone. I know there's been a lot of topics, a lot of people on the forums talking about that, and I think Chris has always said that you're going to be able to crew with NPC players.
Yeah.
So but it's not going to. I can't even believe people. Why would if you own the ship, you should be able to fly it? Right?
Of course. Yeah. And then of course, as you said, okay, you have to man it with NPCs. How many NPCs will one player be able to hire?
I don't know if you have to. We'll just have to see how it goes.
Okay.
Again, it's a balancing issue, and we'll get playing. We're going to get feedback from the fans to see what they want.
Okay.
I know I read a lot of them saying we want to be able to fly it. I own the ship, and so we would not ignore that.
Well then, thank you very much.
Sure.
Last question. how many beers are we two going to drink tonight?
Oh, I'm going to drink quite a few. But first, I have to do the presentation. I end up directing now, so I end up being the guy who says camera 1, camera 2, all that kind of stuff. So,
Okay.
But after that, as many as I can.
And for the sake of pastimes, let's say we're going to see them
In the verse.
Take my love, take my land, take me where I cannot stand. I don't care, I'm still free. You can't take the sky from me. Take me out to the black, tell them I ain't coming back. Burn the land and boil the sea. You can't take the sky from me. There's no place I can be since I found serenity. But you can't take the sky from me.